the one and only Ahmed Ali.
Thank you very much. Can you hear me?
And then I started doing more research and I found you, and I hate doing a video, but the coaching calls was one of the things. And then you had another video that caught my eye where it was specific, outside the PMP, but I knew this is real content. This is things that will be on exam, right?
I did hard work for sure, but I think the follow-up, sir, you did. I don't know how you managed to do the follow-up with one particular student like me. You have hundreds of students. You are just keeping an eye on each of the students. So after my hard work, I can say that the credit goes to you, sir. That is for sure.
Hi Amir, good morning. Yes, I cleared the exam. Thank you so much for your support. And this has happened only because of the customized roadmap and mocks, and you always keep on asking us to do proper RCA, detailed RCA. It happened only because of the detailed RCA. Yes, this RCA helped me a lot.
Thank you for all this guidance and support you gave me, Mr. Amir. Thanks for our team.
So I was just looking at his post, who cleared the PMP, and he used to post the success stories on daily basis. So I reached out to Alina and I asked her how is his program or something. So she said you can trust him and you should join this program if you are looking forward to.
It was a very customized base feedback that I was getting from sir, from you.
So yes, follow-up is very important, and thank you very much for that. It made me accountable. If you didn't ask me this often, I would have slacked off more.
I would say your course was super important. I think this was the main part, once you understand the course, and then I think the mocks were super important. Your emphasis on mocks, you kept nagging us that, get this mock done, do RCA. All of this was super helpful because pushes were they were similar. So yeah, mocks were, there are so many mocks that you have, and if you do all of them, I'm pretty sure anybody who goes, who does them can easily clear a PMP.
Amir, first of all, thank you so much. I think without your guidance, it took me 1 complete year. I was preparing for PMP through books and everything. So I was giving some mocks also available online, and I was not able to, have that confidence that I'll be able to clear. But I'm telling you, after attending the classes, especially after doing the mocks, doing the RCAs, I was feeling confident enough that yes, I can attempt it. And the day you told me to book your exam, I still asked you that are you sure that I can give the exam? And you said yes, you are ready.
First of all, I thank you a lot for the privilege, because when I started encounter with your program through LinkedIn, so some of your thoughts, always motivating me, I can do it. So I always follow you, almost everything, all your journeys. I watch all of them, even the one that they speak in your local language.
So that was not an easy journey, and it would not be possible without you. I really appreciate the support. He was always available for my questions and always put me in the right direction. And actually, if I want to say how was the journey, my journey started 2 years back when I first called you for the SP, and then you directed me to PMP, and then we did SP after that, and then you tricked me to do the PGMP.
Thank you so much, and again, Amir, thank you so much, and your mocks are really good. I mean, yeah, please, everyone should do your mock for sure, and then they will be all prepared for the exam. And trust your program.
And then you came with your follow-ups, and that kind of really boosted me. Those daily follow-ups, making sure that I was getting the mocks that I needed to do completed, and following up on me, it really boosted my motivation again. And as I was started doing those mocks, I got an opportunity for a job which required me to have PMP. So I had to go for PMP before I get the interview.
Mostly coaching goal is for you understand how you will solve the question. Mostly it is like that. We can only do the 10 or 12 questions, maybe less than that. But main thing is it will come into your bones that you have to do elimination technique. So you cannot go just, okay, this is the answer, I will go directly put this answer. That is the main thing. It will come into you that you have to do elimination technique. That is the best thing for coaching all.
Yeah.
Alhamdulillah, with the right guidance from yourself, I managed to do good in the exam and to clear the PMP. I would say that your approach was really helpful because I'm not that type of a person who would sit there and read a lot of theoretical things to get things done. I'm more of a practical person who would prefer practicing over sticking to the theoreticals. And
I would definitely say that the root cause analysis for me was the key. And here's why. Is some people try so hard to memorize all the processes and how they're all linked together. And if you do this, then you got to do that. And some people, maybe they think that way. That was very hard for me. It was just a lot to memorize. I'm there, Ali. I can't do that. So for me, just the process of actually answering the questions with your technique of process of elimination. And then you're left with always like two answers. Which one do you do? And if you get it wrong, you have to go do the root cause analysis. So thank you, sir. Yeah, thank you very much for everything. Fantastic. I would not have done as well as I had done if I hadn't had that foundation that you gave me, for sure.
Who here wants to be successful? Raise your hands.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, people around the world. Here we have come for another session of solving PMP questions made by PMP certified professionals. So let's, without further delay, this is Jane Martina, facilitator from Amir Ali's team. So without further delay, let's get back to the questions. So let's start with question number 16. People who wants to answer the question, put the question number and then put your options there so that we will know about which option you're answering. Please do comment on the comment section. Nova Farm is deploying a new vaccine cold chain system. The regulator issues updated requirements for real-time monitoring. The sponsor insists the ministry expects a live demo next month. Vendor wants integration with delay rollout, 6 weeks. Finance raises alarms about cost overruns. What should the project manager do? Option A, capture regulator mandate and issue log while suspending configuration work pending validation. B, engage government stakeholders, sponsor, regulator, and finance to confirm compliance path before replanning. C, document vendors' delay as a procurement risk while continuing with sponsors' demonstration timeline. Option D, prepare updated forecast for finance while re-baselining the roller plan to observe delay. So here goes the timer. Okay, so the timer is done. So when we see the questions, this options, let's go through the question once again, and then let's go through the options to use the elimination technique. Nova Form is deploying a new vaccine cold chain system. So the regulator issues updated requirements for real-time monitoring. So there is a new regulatory issues with updated requirements. They have issued new requirements for the regulator. The sponsor insists the ministry expects a live demo next month. So there is a pressure from the sponsor about a live demo. So vendor wants integration will delay rollout 6 weeks. So they are saying this regulatory issue requirements has to be integrated, which will delay rollout by 6 weeks. So this is creating alarm about cost overruns. So let's get into the options. Option A, capture regulator mandate and issue log while suspending configuration work pending validation. This seems to be like not referring to any particular governance activity, but directly diving deep into the action item, which we generally not do in project management. So this may be an option, but let's go through the other options also. Option B, engage governance stakeholders, sponsor, regulator, finance to confirm compliance path before replanning. So this seems to be a more of a collaborative solution where your governance alignment before the baseline adjustments of the requirements, which happens along with the sponsor, regulator, and finance. This seems to be more relevant to this given scenario. Option C, document vendors delay as a procurement risk while continuing with sponsors demonstration timeline. This is like how to say this, there is no compliance validation is done when we are carrying out this option. So for the now, this may not be a more suitable option. So let's see the option D. Prepare updated cost forecast for finance while rebaselining the rollout plan to absorb delay. So this is like you are not consulting the governance first, but you are again rebaselining with the prematurity of doing without the governance. So it's more of like option B. So please, I'm also looking into the comments who have also posted the answers. So hope who has different options posted, they got clarified on the description. So let's move on to the next question. As mentioned, please put your question number and then the option. Thank you. Moving on to the next question. At Finlink, a distributed Scrum team where they have like India, Brazil, Germany, develops a blockchain platform. Mid-sprint, CFO demands an early release. Developers warn about untested compliance features. Participation in retrospectives is uneven due to cultural styles. Product owner is traveling. What should the project manager do? Note CFO's request as backlog item while deferring compliance concerns to sprint review. Option B, capture variance in delivery roadmap while preparing CFO focused value justification. Option C, engage developers across regions to consolidate compliance concern before balancing against CFO's request. Option D, defer resolution to the next retrospective, focusing first on cultural participation pattern. So here goes the timer. Yes. So as many of you has mentioned the option, it is option C, because among these four options, this option seems to consolidate, collaborate across the regions and consolidate the compliant concern before balancing against CFO's request. So this should be their first activity. So let's walk through option A, B, and D as well. Note CFO's request as backlog item while deferring compliance concern to sprint review. We will never defer any compliance concern at the first place, so we eliminate this option. Option B, capture variance in delivery roadmap while preparing CFO focused value justification. So here this means like even before validating the technical feasibility, jumping to the CFO is not a right option. So we are eliminating this as well. Option D, during the retrospective is like delaying the action. So we are eliminating option A, B, and D, and we are going with the option C. So moving on to the next question. Hydromax must commission turbines by year end. Supplier wants shipping delays. Sponsor suggests renting old turbines. Environmental protests arise. Board expects visibility. What is the most appropriate step? Option A, engage procurement governance to evaluate continuity options while recording supplier delay as an issue. Option B, update schedule baseline to reflect delays while drafting change request for scope adjustment. Option C, present sponsors interim solution to vote while awaiting procurement decision. Option D, address environmental protests through stakeholder engagement while deferring procurement resolution. So here goes the timer. Okay, let's go through the question and options once again. Hydromax must commission turbines by year end, and the supplier is warning about the shipping delays. So the sponsor is suggesting renting old turbines, but environmental protests arise for this old turbines. Board expects visibility. So in this scenario, what will be the most appropriate step? Let's see option A. Engage procurement governance to evaluate continuity options while recording supplier delay as an issue. So here this option engages both the issues, like while they are recording the supplier delay as an issue in the issue log, also they are engaged procurement governance to evaluate continuity options. So how they can still procure about the turbines, renting about the old turbines, to evaluate what are the other continuity options. So this is addressing both the scenario or the concerns that is raised in the question. Let's see, go through option B, C, and D. Option B, update schedule baseline to reflect delays while drafting change request for scope adjustment. Here the baseline cannot shift before the governance, right? So this is kind of a too much of reactive activity for whatever the scenario is happening. So this one can be eliminated. Option C, present sponsors interim solution to board while awaiting procurement decision. So this is kind of a presenting interim solution to the board, is kind of providing that to the board, is taking it to the next level. So where we won't encourage the project manager to do that at the first place. And considering option D might sound like almost relevant to this question, only portion which is not suitable for this scenario is while differing procurement resolution. So we cannot, this scenario is expecting two kind of situation where that both needs to be addressed. So while deferring, this one will not be the most appropriate answer. So we are going with option A. Okay. So the concern on the font and the color that is being used will be considered from the next session onwards. Thanks for the input. Now moving on to the next question. At Meditech, the developers push AI first diagnostics. QA warns regulators may flag results. Sponsor insists on innovation image. Team cohesion drops as debates intensify. What is the most appropriate action? Document conflict in issue log while deferring QA concerns to governance body. Prioritize sponsors' innovation concerns while planning regulator engagement later. Option C, capture QA's compliance concerns in risk register while continuing sprint with AI first features. Option D, facilitate team alignment between developers and QA on regulatory quality thresholds before adoption. And here goes the timer. Okay, so the time's up. So here they are having basically a conflict among the team members. So among the options, we will not document conflict in the issue log. Rather, we will be addressing the conflict, the project manager, and QA concerns to governance body. We will not be doing it at the first place. So we can eliminate option A. Option B, prioritize sponsors' innovation concerns while planning regulator engagement later. So this is like a different sequencing because regulator engagement should be done first compared to the sponsor's innovation concern. So you can eliminate option B. Option C, capture QA's compliance concern in risk register while continuing sprint with AI first features. So which is like sorry. So here also the issue is not updated, is not going to be in the risk register, but it will be it is not something to be updated to the risk register. So and also we will not come to a I mean without coming to an conclusion collaborative approach with all the team, we will not be moving on with the AI first features. So eliminating these options, option D seems to be more familiar with the more relevant right option. So we are choosing option D. So moving on to the next question. City Trans has finished smart ticketing. Sponsor demands closure for publicity. Authority requires 6 months benefit tracking. So finance pushes closure to reduce overhead. Union demands training funds before sign off. What is the first step? A. Allocate union training funds while deferring benefit validation for later governance. Option B. Expedite closure per finance request while logging benefits validation as post-project work. Option C. Record benefit requirements in benefit register and delay closure until evidence is validated. Option D. Proceed with sponsors closure request while capturing pending benefits and lesson learned. Here goes the timer. Okay, so let's go back to the question. Let's try to decode. So they have finished smart ticketing. Okay, the sponsor is demanding for closure for publicity. They want to go and have this launch in the market. Authority requires 6 months benefit tracking. So they wanted to see what are the benefits for the next 6 months that is required for the next 6 months. Finance pushes closure to reduce overhead. So finance and sponsor are pushing for closure. Authority and union, authority is demanding for benefit tracking and union is demanding training funds before sign off. So you have to remember which one has to take precedence first and which one has to take the next step. So in sequence. Okay. So when we'll go through the options. Option A, allocate union training funds while deferring benefit validation for later governance where this alignment is wrong. So always the project benefit validation take a precedence when compared to the closure or the other activity, because you should also realize how much of benefits it's going to be providing for the training or for this particular system in public. So you should first have that details. So we would like, we can eliminate this option. Option B, expedite closure per finance request while logging benefit validation as post-project work. As said for this option A, logging benefit validation has to proceed compared to all other activities. So option A and option B can be eliminated. If you see option C, it is recording benefit requirements in the benefits registers and delay closure until evidence is validated. Even though the benefit register is a new term for this, when you consider the precedence of understanding the benefit, I think option C takes the right sequence of recording the benefits and then delaying closure until evidence is validated, because even though there is a demand for the closure, you should also provide the benefit validation to see how it is going to perform in the market. So option C is more relevant. And option D, proceed with sponsor's closure request while capturing pending benefits in lesson learned. So this is like lesson learned logging is not equal to benefit governance. So from these options, we'll be going on with option C. Moving on to the next question. Shop is a multinational e-commerce retailer is launching a unified checkout system across Asia and Europe. Midway, the marketing VP demands integration of region-specific promotions. The engineering director warns this would affect the scope baseline. The European compliance officer reminds the team that a data sharing laws require further validation. Meanwhile, the Indian development team feels excluded from the decision making due to cultural communication barriers. What should be done in this case? Option A, convene governance stakeholders, sponsor marketing, compliance, and engineering to validate scope impact before rebaselining. Option B, capture marketing's feature request as a backlog enhancement while continuing existing baseline work. Option C, conduct cultural sensitivity sessions for Indian developers while addressing governance issues later. Option D, prepare cost and schedule impact estimates for marketing before involving the governance stakeholders. So here goes the time. Okay, let's get back to the question again. So to identify which one will be the right option, so we need to decode the question first. A multinational e-commerce retailer is launching a unified checkout system across Asia and Europe. So midway, the marketing VP demands integration of region-specific promotions. The engineering director wants this would affect the scope baseline because there is a change in their marketing and integration of region-specific promotions, which seems like this was not earlier planned. So that is why they have given there is a change in the scope. There might be a change in the scope baseline. The European compliance officer reminds the team that the data sharing laws require further validation because they are trying to do a region specific promotion integrating with this thing. So they are referring to the European compliance officer where he reminds the team that the data sharing laws require further validation. And in the meanwhile, the Indian development team feels that they are the developers, feels they are excluded from the decision making due to cultural communication barriers. So there is a change in the scope identified here, and which is coming up at a later stage. And the retailer is launching a unified system, which means like they are done with the system. And in here, the compliance officer reminds that The data sharing laws require further validation, and there is an exclusion of difference of cultural communication barriers in one time. So again, when we talk about which takes the precedence among this, the compliance of data sharing law, this is seeming to have the high precedence. So let's go through the options to figure out which is the right option. Convene governance stakeholders, sponsor marketing, compliance, and engineering to validate scope impact before rebaselining. So this seems to be the more appropriate answer for this question, but we need to go through other options to see how this is going to be done. Option B, capture marketing's feature request as a backlog enhancement while continuing existing baseline work. So this is like for a normal procedure, we'll be going along with it. But if you see that just adding to the backlog is not going to have any impact on the captures marketing features. So let's go to the option C. Conduct cultural sensitivity session for Indian developers while addressing governance issue later. So this is a concern again. So always the governance issue takes precedence. So we will not do it. So that is the reason we are going to eliminate option C. Option D, prepare cost schedule impact estimates for marketing before involving governance stakeholders. Again, the precedence. So with this, we will be going on with the option A, where it ensures all the pressures are aligned before we are agreeing upon the scope impact. So that is why we are going with option A. So if you have any options or any other way of questioning or want to have more details about it, please mention in the comments so I can go through it and I will respond to it when I'm reading out. Thank you. Moving on to the next question. Orbital X is building a satellite launch system. Supplier delays in avionics threaten launch date. The board insists on demonstration before the fiscal year end. The sponsor adjusts continuity through alternative suppliers. Engineers warn that integrating substitutes may trigger safety non-conformance. Public media is already questioning project viability. So what should the project manager do? Option A, document avionics delay as an issue while convening procurement governance to assess continuity options. Option B, re-baseline the launch schedule to align with board's fiscal year pressure before supplier alternatives are confirmed. Option C, address public perception concerns through communication strategy while evaluating technical solutions later. Option D, proceed with sponsors suggested supplier switch while logging the associated safety risk for monitoring. Starts now. Okay. So these questions combine two or three processes together, and then it is asking which one is kind of the precedence first, like what should be addressed first, or if the options are including like more than one action items to be done for this scenario. So considering this in mind, let's again go and decode the question. Okay. So here they are having a satellite launch system. They are building a satellite launch system. So the supplier delays in avionics. So this is issue threatens launch date. So when they have a launch date, but it is threatening that launch date because there is a delay. The board insists on demonstration before fiscal year end. So they are looking out for a demo. And this is the next activity that is in their, what you say, you will have the target activity to be done, right? So the roadmap says that the demo is at the fiscal year end. Okay. The sponsor is urging to continue through alternative suppliers because this is a issue, and he is suggesting an alternative option. But the engineers warn that integrating substitutes may trigger safety non-conformance, because when they have done a planning for this particular avionics system, they had certain thing, they would have had certain things in mind, but when they are going in for alternative suppliers, what they see as a risk is like they may trigger safety non-conformance. So here they have added one more thing, is like public media is already questioning the project viability. So this is the scenario here. So the major scenario is there is a delay in the supplier and the sponsor is asking for alternative suppliers, and that is posing an issue in terms of non-conformance. So what should a project manager do? Document avionics delay as an issue. Yes, this is an issue. So this is addressing that, while convening procurement governance to assess continuity options. Correct. So this is the right way we will be doing it. So we will be logging in it as a issue, and then we'll also convening procurement governance to assess the continuity options. So they say that it may trigger the safety non-conformance, but to assess and confirm it, you have to continue to work on it. So option A seems to be addressing both the factors of this question. So that doesn't mean we should not go through other options. So we will be going through option B, re-baseline the launch schedule to align with board's fiscal year pressure before supplier alternatives are confirmed. This is like directly getting into an action without assessing. So no. Option C, address public perception concerns through communication strategy while evaluating technical solutions later. So this is like public media is like we in the stakeholder engagement matrix or that domain, we see they will be much interested in what is going on with the project, but that doesn't mean it takes the precedence. Communication is important, but not preceding the procurement governance. Okay, so I would not choose this option. So option D, proceed with sponsors suggested supplier switch while logging the associated safety risk for monitoring. Here, this and this are almost option A and D are similar, but the order in which it is being done makes A stand out. So we'll be going on with option A. So moving on to the next question. AgriNext is piloting an AI-based crop monitoring tool. Investors push for early release to show benefits. Farmers Cooperative resists adoption, citing usability concerns. So developers feel demotivated as feedback is ignored. Product owner is abroad and unavailable to resolve conflict. Sponsor demands board demo in 3 weeks. So what is the most appropriate first step? Option A, capture cooperative concerns in backlog refinement while aligning developers to re-engage with usability features. Option B, note investors' urgency in roadmap documentation while prioritizing sponsors' demo deadline. Option C, defer cooperative concerns until product owner returns to validate backlog prioritization. Option D, record developer morale issue in team charter update while record developer morale issues in team charter update while focusing first on the investor benefits. Okay, so let's dive into the question and understand what is the exact problem here. So they are going in for piloting an AI-based crop monitoring tool. So it is not a complete solution outside. They are just piloting the project. So whoever has invested is asking for early release to show benefits to the farmers or whoever the end users. But the farmers cooperative, knowing about this, they are resisting this adaptation of AI-based crop monitoring tool, citing the usability concern. They are not familiar with it or they are not comfortable using it. So based on this feedback, the developers feel demotivated as the feedback is ignored. They here the question, we need to just read through the options to figure out what this exact is. And when these are happening, the product owner is not available to resolve this conflict because he is the one who has to go and work with the client and to discuss about what is the issues and how to resolve it. And investor and sponsor, they are putting pressures that they want a demo in 3 weeks, and there is some kind of a ambiguity there. They are not very clear about what is going to happen with these inputs given in. So let's get into the options, as many of you suggested as option A. So here it captures cooperative concerns in the backlog refinement, because the ultimate purpose of developing this tool is to assist the end users who are nothing but farmers cooperative system. They farmers. Okay, so their cooperative concerns are put it in the backlog refinement, and while aligning developers to re-engage with usability features. So citing, okay, here we can say the developers feel demotivated as citing the usability concerns. So their feedback is like farmers are not usable. So when you read option A, it clearly says, okay, they are having some concerns in adopting using the usability as an issue. And also you will align with the developers to re-engage with usability features. So you will work with the developers to make it more easy for the farmers to use it. So this option seems to be like the first step you can do, because you are not ignoring the farmers cooperative resisting adopting this system, as well as you are asking the developers to work on the usability. So you make them do this until the product owner comes up. So option B, note investor urgency in roadmap documentation while prioritizing sponsors demo deadline. So here the business values should be considered. Prioritizing demo cannot precede addressing the concern with the end users. So with that, we can eliminate option B. Option C, defer cooperative concerns. Even with this statement, we can directly eliminate, because that cannot be deferred until product owner returns to validate backlog prioritization. So whenever he can come, he can go and validate whatever has been added in the backlog. Here there are two things. This is backlog refinement and this is backlog prioritization. Only the product owner can do the backlog prioritization, but backlog adding the issues or concerns to the backlog can be done even when product owner is not there. Okay, so deferring, you will not do it. So only this term makes it more outstanding for this other options. Option D, record developer morale issue in team charter update while focusing first on investor benefits. No, investor and sponsors will be considered after considering the business value with the end users and their usability concerns. So with this, we'll be going with option A. Moving on to the next question. Streamwave, a global media streaming service, is upgrading its recommendation engine. Marketing insists on rapid AI deployment to outspace rivals. Legal warns about GDPR compliance gaps. The sponsor is unavailable due to board meetings. The developers are confused by conflicting directives and stop updating progress logs. Finance is pressing for visibility of risk exposure. What should PM do? Clarify compliance requirements with legal and ensure alignment with marketing before governance revalidation. Option B, engage governance stakeholders once sponsor is available to balance compliance, marketing, and financial pressures. Option C, update risk register with GDPR concerns while continuing sprint with marketing deployment roadmap. Option D, direct developers to resume updates while escalating conflicting directives to portfolio oversight body. Okay, so I was just reading the options that you have entered. Option A has been chosen by many, but see, I said there is precedence, right? The compliance and governance takes the precedence when comparing to other issues or other activities. But when you see the options, right? We chose like the option A has. You are clarifying the compliance requirement with the legal team, and also you are ensuring the governance revalidation. So this seems to be like more sounds like more towards the PMI's alignment. But when you see option B, it includes all pressures that is coming up. So you are engaging the governance stakeholders. Governance stakeholders is like who are there to take decisions based on how this project is going to be moving forward. Okay, so it is like you are engaging them once the sponsor is available to balance, because here it addresses all the pressures that is being put on this particular scenario, where it says compliance, marketing, and financial pressures. So only because of this option stands out rather than option A. So here, this once the sponsor is available might little bit mislead, but the second portion of the option has the balance for compliance, marketing, and financial pressures. And here, updating risk register with while continuing sprint is not going to happen, because this has to be governance and the compliance has to be addressed. Only here this concern is updated in the risk register, so we eliminate that. Option D also eliminates because escalating is the keyword is there, so it has been eliminated. So as I have said, option A stands good if option B is not there. But since option B covers you engage the stakeholders, okay, and to balance compliance, marketing, and financial pressures, you will discuss and decide on the meeting or the steering committee meeting, whichever is being done. They call it as cadence. Cadence is a meeting specific for these kind of engagements with the stakeholders. So based on that, this option B is more towards addressing the concerns of compliance, marketing, and financial. So with this, we are going into the last question of today's session. Okay, so Lisa has mentioned, okay. So Menas has mentioned option B will create delay. We don't know when the sponsor will be available. Okay, let's go back to the question. So I'm just reading. So he is available due to board meetings. That does mean like he's participating in board meetings. Obviously, he's not out of stations or so he is the one to make sure that the compliance, marketing, and financial pressures, because it has got all three things combined here. So we cannot just include or exclude any of this thing from the options. We can just look into it and say, okay, here we are clarifying the compliance requirement with the legal and addressing the governance. What about the financials, pressing for visibility of risk exposure? So where it is addressed. Where is the marketing? Because in the question, it has scenarios mentioned with all these options, right? If these are not there, then A stands good. But since these are there, so option B addresses all the concerns. So when you have precedence, even though if there is a precedence, the concern is including all the factors where you will be finding a proper solution. So engaging with the concerned stakeholders to come up with a solution is the best way of getting things moving forward. Agreed? Okay. So you can drop in if you have agreed to the explanation in the comment section. So board meetings will not go for 6 months. I guess. Maybe 6 hours, but not 6 months. Right? So I'm just reading the comments. So the sponsor, Faizan has asked, why should PM wait for sponsor to come back? Would it not affect the project? Because here the decision maker has to be done by the sponsor and the governance stakeholders, right? The PM has to, when there is a concern, multiple concern, here there is not one concern, it is more towards compliance, marketing, financial pressures, and so many things happening. So instead of addressing one by one, you can call all the governance stakeholders who is going to make a decision about all these factors in one particular place with the sponsor. So the sponsor is unavailable, who is going to make a major decision. As a project manager, we can facilitate, right? We can facilitate on it and we can drive how it has to move forward. But the decision has to made collaboratively with all the steering committee or the governance stakeholders. Okay, so that is the reason we are going with option B. Okay, so without further delay, I'm moving on to the last question of this session. Okay, Global Move is finishing a smart warehouse automation program. Sponsor wants immediate closure for shareholder reporting. Local warehouse unions demand training metrics before acceptance. Finance stresses closure to reduce overhead. Regional managers want cultural adaptation varies across warehouses. What should the project manager do? Option A, proceed with sponsor's closure request while documenting training gaps in lesson learned. Option B, expedite closure to satisfy finance while scheduling post-project adoption surveys. Option C, record union and manager concerns in benefits register while delaying closure until benefit evidence is validated. Option D, launch communication campaign to improve cultural adaptation while initiating partial closure for finance. Okay, so this question is like a little tricky in decoding about what exactly they are talking about. So the smart warehouse automation program is done. So there are many factors involved again here. The sponsor wants a closure for shareholder reporting. Local warehouse unions demands training metrics before acceptance. So it is somewhat similar to our previous questions on the AI automation, crop automation kind, because here it is being developed for local warehouse unions. So where they demand training, UAT kind of a thing before accepting. Finance stresses closure to reduce overhead. So sponsor and finance are asking for closure to reduce overhead and also for shareholder reporting. Regional managers want cultural adoption varies across the warehouses, because these warehouses can have different kind of adaptation, adapting to that particular automation program. So he is giving you a warning about that it might not be well received, or it might be well received, or whatever the demands are coming up. Okay, so let's see where the problem has to be addressed from the question. So you have identified there are two people want the closure, so there is a pressure from the project manager to close the project. And if you see, the end users are having concern in terms of training as well as adopting it to the system. So these are two concerns we can capture from the question. So what should the project manager do? Option A says proceed with sponsor's closure request while documenting training gaps in lesson learned. So training gaps in lesson learned is not providing any solutions, because they are demanding for training metrics even before accepting. Okay, so that is one scenario there. So we can eliminate it, because just documenting it in lesson learned will not work out. Maybe that can be the last step. When they are going in for the handover and closure of the project, they can add into a lesson learned too for the OPAs to make sure the training has to be planned next time a little earlier. So we can eliminate option A. Option B, expedite closure to satisfy finance while scheduling post-project adaptation surveys. So the order and the term that is used is not right. So we can eliminate it. Option C, record union and managers' concern in benefits register while delaying closure until benefit evidence is validated. Here again, there is a term called benefit register. We are not sure about this. So we can have it over there, but excluding that benefit register, if you see, they are recording the concerns and also they are delaying the closure. Why? Until the evidence is validated. So before the training concerns or the manager's adoption concerns across the warehouse is evidence is validated, they are delaying the closure. May or may not be a right option. So we'll go to the option D, launch communication campaign to improve cultural adoption while initiating partial closure for finance. So here, this also sounds like more of a amicable solution where we address both. So again, here it is like you are initiating the partial closure. Just partial closure doesn't mean that it is going to benefit at the end. So among the options C and D, more towards the PMI's alignment is option C. So that's the reason, because here it is addressing the concerns in the register and they are validating it and seeing, okay, if it is going to benefit, then they will proceed to the closure. Otherwise, even if they are going for the closure and the warehouse and the manager, regional managers who have already given a warning about the cultural adoption might not happen same across all the warehouses, that might not have benefit at the end. So based on it, the option C stands out a little bit from option D. Yes, there is no benefit register artifact, but always we cannot go back to the questions whichever is PMI is generating in the exams to question them there. They might have few feedback questions where we can provide our feedbacks, but that doesn't mean like why it is there, why this is not relevant. So we can just look through the options, and we can choose the best among them, which addresses the concern. Always have this in mind. When there is a problem statement given in the question, which is having like multiple issues or pressures coming up, right? When a project manager is looking out for a solution from the options given, always look out for an option which addresses all the concerns, and also look out for the precedence of actions. Okay, so with that note, I think we have come to the end of the session. So thank you, everyone. Thank you for your support and participation in the comment section as well. Please do drop in your feedbacks in your concerned groups of your PMP batches. So we'll meet the next time. Until then, see you. Bye-bye. Take care.
I would have not been able to clear the exam if Amir Ali would have not been there. I would have not been.
I did not believe that I will be able to clear my PMP within a month.
I don't know what to say actually. Like I'm kind of like really
I got my results and I was above target in all 3 categories.
Wow.
So